All right, you guys, welcome back to Four Guys,
One Film.
This week, we watched a movie that I remember very fondly from my childhood, something that scared the shit out of me, The Day After Tomorrow.
Oh, God.
If you haven't seen this film in the past, this is one of those, I think is like one of the best early disaster films to ever come out. This is before I feel like it became like a Hollywood trope where it's just got to be Dwayne Johnson falling or running or moving in helicopters and shit. But this movie is phenomenal. It's got a lot of really cool facts that I can't wait to get into. But the biggest thing, it's climate change, so it's super topic specific for the last quarter century. It's been a really well shot, and I think it was pretty cool that they did this so close to 9/11 even. And decided
just a few years.
Cool? No, because it's
really awesome. Right cool. After
it was super impactful for like New York to feel like
forget.
they could be part of shit like that. To be honest,
who gives a fuck about New York though?
Whoa!
I think a lot of people around 9/11 give a fuck about New York.
We got a few.
There goes our whole East Coast.
I know East Coast is gone. Nice one, bro.
But
nice one.
The story basically follows a meteorologist who is giving.
I thought it was a climatologist.
Climatologist, yes, a climatologist who is studying the effects of basically the falling polar ice sheets onto the currents and the impending doom that could happen over the next thousands of years. What ends up happening is one of the ice sheets that falls off is the size of Rhode Island. It pushes whatever the catastrophe to occur a little bit faster, and they end up getting pushed into an ice age now. But the story is all about him trying to help as many people bring awareness to this crazy disaster that's happening. We watch all of these incredible shots of different disasters hitting different major areas. I really want to talk about the LA scene once
Jesus
we get a chance
Christ,
to.
Nick. All right.
What?
Hey, look, man.
I thought you were going to make it short.
How short do you want me to be?
Dude, that shit was like 20 minutes long, man.
You give a whole fucking...
I told you 5 minutes. I'm going to take 5 minutes.
I thought he was reading the fucking transcript.
I'll do it if you want me to.
He's reading off Wikipedia.
I don't got nothing on me. I'm just recalling.
Hey, when we said that, like, we didn't give the synopsis the last time, doesn't mean you have to give the whole fucking movie.
You know what? I'm going to give you the fucking kitchen sink. But anyway, I'll get a little bit more wrapped up. But again, really good shots of different disasters, a lot of budget into that, and just a lot of really kind of scary moments, honestly, that I remember really fearing as a kid. So I do want to get into some of the different aspects of the movies.
Okay, so
I guess
what stood out the most about this film?
What
makes you remember
real,
it?
dude.
Like,
so like one of the
it's been
things.
20 years.
No, listen. This shit's real. So
it's melting now, man.
No, shut the fuck up.
The day after tomorrow is today.
No, listen.
My guy.
So this actually
now.
fucking happened. So there is an actual ice shelf that literal thing that they called them, the Larsen B ice shelf in Antarctica, actually fucking broke off, and it was the size of Rhode Island.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
so like
it didn't lead to the cataclysmic.
No, you're right. You're right.
Cataclysmic
issues that are being portrayed in this film.
Yeah, and Pandora isn't a real fucking planet. You want to tell me something else that Hollywood did? Yeah.
No.
Guess what? Dwayne the Rock Johnson doesn't fly a helicopter in San Andreas.
He's not a rock. He's not a rock.
No, I get it. But was it just impactful because of the way that it ties to the real world?
I
or just like you liked it?
As a kid, I remember. Fucking Alexis, you talked about how this shit scared the crap out of you.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the first movies that I got to watch that I felt like, oh shit, maybe something like this could happen.
That's why I was shitting bricks when I was a kid.
Yeah, we talked about climate change and like, when you're a kid, like all this science, like you don't think about fact checking. You're just like,
absolutely.
that makes sense.
We didn't have that back then.
Words.
It's kind of funny. It's like the news? No, fuck the news. Let's just watch this movie, and this is it.
The Motorola Razor at this time.
Yeah, dude.
No, man. We didn't even know what was coming.
Yeah, bro. There wasn't a sidekick to alert your friends. Your T-Mobile top 5 couldn't know about the impending doom.
Hey,
wow.
same thing for me. 2012,
Never had a
bro.
sidekick.
I was so scared. I was like, this might happen, bro.
But that's the thing that I think is that when I saw like movies like 2012, it was so dramatized, like in a way that I felt like this one showed like one dimension of like, it's just, yeah, there was the whole tornadoes and everything that kind of took it away. That was just more visually stunning. Yeah. But the idea that all that's happening is just ice falls into water, everything gets colder. So, and that's just logical. Mm-hmm. And it didn't feel like the whole idea of like, oh, the Mayan calendar is destroying everything. Yeah. And now, different shit's going to just fall into the ocean.
Yeah, it wasn't mystical at all. It was just like, yo, this is your guys' fault. It's your fault. Everyone's dead. Like half the world is dead.
Yeah, and like I think this also like sparked one of those like conspiracy theory shits for me.
Like the government.
Yeah, like that government knows, but they're
Birds
not
aren't
helping.
real.
They don't do shit. Yeah.
I mean, it kind of felt like a whole big ass ad for global warming to me.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Which like is fine because I do
And
understand
Wendy's.
that there's a huge impact that could happen as a turn of us not trying to make a difference and realizing our imprint on the planet and eventually people down the road. But yeah, I mean, all of it was a little too in your face in the beginning.
Actually,
of this film.
let me ask a question. Because you said it's too in your face, but do you think that because they went so hard, it made people be like, "That's never gonna happen. I don't give a shit."
No,
about
I
that."
think
think
if
the
anything,
opposite.
yeah,
I think it
it
scared
did. It
people.
did a kind of scared
'Cause I-
people into like, all right, what's actually happening in the real world?
Because I
and
remember,
what
like,
can we do?
You know, one of our local theaters, Main Place, which typically never played premiere movies. I ended up watching the movie there. Like, it was
Back
people
in
want-
05?
Back in 04.
Dude, they had
Back in
fucking
04.
$6 Tuesday movies. Oof.
Sick ass hot dogs,
That shit
dude.
was
That's
fucking-
expensive.
Yeah. And I think, as much as we say that
Actually,
this
it was
shit
like
is kind of crazy because it's
And
like,
like who didn't get a handy J at the Main Place mall, dude? Like, let's talk about it.
you gave him.
It was actually
gave
all
him
of
that.
us. We just
I'm raising my hand because
We
I was
switched
hands
off.
free. That's why.
He was like, whoa.
he was gummy with it, but no. Going back, the thing that I wanted to say though is, one of the things I remember. I don't know how long ago it was, but like we've had hurricanes start to hit like the western coast of the U.S. Like we've had a lot of weird weather phenomenons. We've seen like in certain cases that we're getting more fucking water than some of the states that are supposed to. So like that's
Fuckload of snow.
a fuckload of snow. Like this is a bunch of stuff that's happening that I feel like adds to like the whole effects of this movie. I get your whole point about propaganda and
Yeah.
shit like that, but
no, but I'm not saying that in such a bad thing because I
No,
think this is
it's-
something that needs to be shown
Yeah.
to light. I do think that it's very blatant in this film, and it's fine because it's for a good cause.
yeah,
But I do think ultimately, like the science and the way that it's backed, it's like should be more, like apparent in the film. And I feel like they kind of
Like, you think it was too much BS science?
yeah, and not enough like them kind of maybe they should have taken the route like Interstellar. Fucking Nolan, like he actually talked to NASA scientists and all those people that actually study physics and
Yeah.
like all of it behind it, and try to make a movie that's like, yeah, it is a little bit kind of like pseudoscience. You're not gonna go to a planet that has like 30 times the gravitational pull of Earth and survive.
But I don't think the point of this movie was to be safe. Like the whole point of this movie
Yeah.
was
No,
to exaggerate all the things that could potentially happen.
But that's what I'm saying. Is one of my criticisms. I don't think that. I mean, they should have been thinking about that at that time. But
I think that
would've
time
been-
they
that
didn't
would've been
really
better.
do that yet. Because I mean, you think about like what movies, like in my opinion, the movies that this is really competing against would be like The Core, would be Armageddon, like shit where it's like a meteor, like
Dude,
that.
The Core is a good fucking.
The Core is a phenomenal movie,
I
but
don't
it's
think I've
got
seen
such
that one.
I haven't
bullshit
seen that
fucking
one.
science.
What?
That movie is great.
I've never heard of that movie.
Yeah.
Dude, that movie's amazing.
Doesn't that have who are we talking about? Who we loved recently? Our favorite bald guy in The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, Stanley
Stanley
Tucci?
Tucci?
Stanley Tucci. That's got the Tucci too.
Does he?
I swear to God, Stanley Tucci's
Oh
in
yeah,
The Core.
he's like an explosive expert.
Yeah.
yeah. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow,
it's
got
a
awful reviews.
it's a fucking great movie. It's a shitty movie, but it's so good.
I thought it was a fun movie, man.
Does Nicholson like movies that are awfully?
I don't know what you're talking
reviewed?
about.
Like
He's like master
There's
disguise.
zero,
Master
Disguise.
there's
Disguise.
zero examples of that. But anyway, the disasters
You know what's
in this
crazy?
movie.
You go,
Yeah.
it's the Green
movies
Baby,
that
and I love it.
that we've talked about that are yours have done better than the crazy ones that Alexis is like.
That's not true.
Hey,
like,
no,
I take
no need to
Scott-
bring
I can show you the
I will-
stats.
No, no, bring my point down.
Scott Pilgrim's the only one that's like the outlier.
Hey,
Uh,
Alexis just been manipulating the numbers, so they're all in his favor.
I know, right? I'm just
That's what
photoshopping
he's
all of
doing.
our.
He's just
all of our
re-downloading the
analytics.
episodes every time it's his.
He's like, I have a 45-minute drive from Santa Monica
He has like
every day.
he has like a
Replay.
He has a farm where it's just his
Oh, yeah.
videos on
No,
loop.
no, it's
On different
it's
phones.
dead
Not a
ass.
bad idea.
He
He's
has
a manager now, so one of the things that's on his employee reviews is,
Supervisor.
"Do you download my fucking podcast?"
Yeah.
He's like,
you
if
don't.
not, you're fired.
You have to listen to all 20 episodes. So
There will be a quiz.
He has Dylan just listen to it all day.
on his school iPads and
Cool
shit.
iPads.
He's like, why do I have to for 24 hours?
He's like, it's
like, you
2
do what I
days,
said.
All right.
So what were we talking about?
The disasters that I wanted to really get into. So, like, one of the scenes that this movie did a really good job on its visual effects. And I know.
I mean, George kept yelling like every 5 minutes.
He's
Oh
like,
my
"Whoa."
god!
I was
Wow.
just in awe. Like,
He's like,
how long
this
ago
movie's
this
20
was?
years old?
Bro, I mean,
What the fuck, guys?
we were fucking 7, bro. Like, I don't
No,
remember this.
I
I
mean,
watched it once,
there
maybe,
there
and
was
then, like, I don't
9
remember it being that good. Like,
no,
the
it was,
CGI at least, not the
I
movie
think I
itself.
think that honestly though, you just don't fucking appreciate that when you're young.
I
to
think
be
you're
honest.
right. Because maybe I just thought, I'm like, no, that's real. That's real ice. They're
Well, if
filming it
anything, like
for
you,
realsies.
you think like Masters. I think like some of the crazy shit in Master of Disguise, or even like The Mask. like that isn't crazy CGI, but it's more goofy, is the type of shit that you'd be really thinking is cool as a kid. Versus now you're like, whoa, look at how realistic the Capitol building looks getting ripped out of the ground by a tornado.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so
Like,
now we
that
appreciate those
shit.
details.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, they did that shit on Windows 99? Ain't no fucking
No
way.
way.
No,
way.
But actually, I was going to mention,
First
so
of all,
9
it was
special
XP.
effects houses.
Was it XP at that
Yeah.
point? Yeah. All right.
Come on, Phil.
I'm just going to say that again. 9 special effects houses worked on this film. At
Over
the
a
same
year.
Time consecutively. Like throughout that time. So
No,
that's-
it's apparent. You can see it.
yeah.
That's for sure.
I mean, and I wanted to ask you guys,
Kudos
like,
to you guys. 'Cause
What was the budget
Jesus
on this
Christ.
movie?
$125 million.
Holy shit, you just knew that off the top of your head? That's impressive.
I'm just
That's
I
impressive.
carry all this information in my
Wow.
ass. But
Is that why it's
pull it out.
So this movie did well at the box office.
It did. It got like, I think it was like
Who
380.
directed this movie?
Yeah, 386
Oh,
international.
you know
186
you know him
domestic.
for making more of these types of movies.
Who?
Roland Emmerich, I think. He did Godzilla, the 90s Godzilla, the one that was really bad.
No, that was...
Yeah, which is also kind of
I
disastrous.
mean, this kind of also gave me a little Cloverfield vibe.
How does he look like?
Yeah.
Cloverfield is an example of a great
I love
disaster movie.
Cloverfield.
Oh, he looks
Great
like
I didn't mind it.
Dude,
I
look
think
at
it was also one of the ones that invented shaky cam.
dude. Look
footage.
at his fucking
In a good
goddamn
way.
gap
And
in
it
his
wasn't
teeth,
bad,
man. Holy
but
shit! You
I didn't like the reveal for that one. It just took too long for me, and it was just. Like,
I think it was a different way but to handle monsters, which is cool. But one of the things I wanted to ask you guys, so we see a lot of different scenes. You know, we see how much they poured into showing hurricane shots, how much they showed into showing. It even felt like they did a little bit of earthquake, but it was mainly the tornado ripping into the buildings.
Also, the eye of the storm.
Being in the eye of the storm, being close to freezing. I know Andre, our producer, made a really good point. He's like, honestly, that seems like one of the best ways to die. It's cold, like you're not feeling anything because you're so numb and it's fast. You're suddenly freezing.
I beg to differ. I don't know if you've been in like the freezing cold. I feel like
No,
it'd
but
be an atrocious
the
way
fact
to die.
that you're
George, when the
it's
fuck
not.
have you been in the freezing cold?
Bro, I lived in fucking Georgia for like.
That ain't cold, son.
He
It's
tells us
cold.
every
It's
time.
cold out
Yeah,
there.
I think he moved to
He
Georgia
just
for a
asked
bit.
me.
Actually,
He's like 1 degree. That's crazy.
I wouldn't be shocked if he moved to Georgia.
No, Washington D.C. was
George
also
and
freezing
Georgia.
during the
Dude,
winter.
Chicago? You haven't been to Chicago?
Yeah, but D.C. was freezing, bro. I couldn't even stand being out there for more than.
Guys,
like
I've been to
10
Mount
minutes.
Baldy.
Yeah.
Chicago negative 30 player.
I don't know how it compares to D.C., but it was cold.
But regardless, the difference that you're seeing here, though, is you're right. That's slow death to cold exposure. These guys are talking about like how it would be suddenly shocked down to negative 150 degrees Fahrenheit. So you would die in seconds. You weren't dying before. Like you were cold and it sucked. But you could, if you were outside and you were like, "Oh, it's just this fucking sucks." I'm walking,
Wait,
and then
but
you just die.
Would negative 50 kill you instantly? Like,
Negative 150.
Oh, you said 150. Okay.
Negative 150. It was freezing. It was freezing flags. It was,
And we're talking about
Crazy.
Fahrenheit, fellas. And now out there, most of the world is
Yeah.
Celsius.
yeah,
so-
you guys.
It's
were
120.
wrong.
This is America?
Celsius.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
We have real numbers.
yeah, real numbers. Okay, this movie is so American that we invaded the Mexicans. That's how American we are,
Wow.
Cleared their debt.
Yeah.
Our country.
That
Hell
was
yeah,
that was
brother.
a hard M.
baby. The United States of Mexico, brother.
And they
George
didn't
would
even
have papers. Imagine that.
And then
Yeah.
they didn't even have fucking oil, which is the
Yeah.
craziest
This
part.
movie is so real.
Full-on invasion.
This movie's so real that a really
Wait,
old
dude,
ass
Mexico has a
motherfucker
fuck
ends
ton
up
of
president.
Oil. What are you talking about?
He
dude?
did.
Just like
no,
us.
but they didn't do it for the oil.
Oh,
They did it for the
They
warmth.
did it for the freedom.
Yeah,
Or-
they did it because they wanted to go
secret
to TJ.
ploy to get oil.
They caused the global
That's why he
warming
didn't want
themselves.
the vice president didn't want to say shit because he knew that if they invaded Mexico, they'd get some fucking oil. The thing that I wanted to ask you guys is, I guess, being in all of this or seeing these disaster movies, like what to you makes the most sense for something to be fucking afraid of? Like, I don't know. Every time I think about tornadoes, like I'll be honest, they're terrifying looking, like the way that it handled LA. And I know they're not so like. You don't get so much of a fucking warning, but you definitely get way more of a fucking warning than you do something like an earthquake.
Yeah, like you could
Honestly,
see it coming at least.
I had an experience in Oklahoma where I drove through the center of a
You're
storm.
just plowing all the white girls in the United States, huh?
No, but I was driving through Oklahoma and I literally got a tornado warning. It was like 30, 40 mile per hour wind. My car was shaking. I couldn't see further than the foot in front of me because it was raining so hard. And there was thunder and lightning going off like every, I don't know, like 30 seconds. It was nuts. It was the worst experience ever. Fuck that place. Tornadoes suck.
Well, I'm kind
Good
of
luck.
curious. So, because, and maybe Andre, you can help us out with the researching this, like which natural disaster kills the most people in the U.S.? And I want to specify the U.S. because obviously other countries might just be underprepared. But like, I feel like tornadoes got to be one of the smaller ones because typically the states that are going to
they don't happen often,
and the states that get it have cellars.
So it's actually a really big natural phenomenon that only occurs in the U.S. mainly because of the way that how flat
the plains
are. And the way that I think it's like the warm wind from Mexico comes in and the cold air from Canada, and then they mix in the middle, and it's so flat, it's perfect for this to occur, but it doesn't happen often in other places in the world.
You're 100% right.
Which is crazy.
I remember when I was younger, I was like...
The fact that he knew the science was fucking crazy in itself.
I'm kind of impressed. Yeah, I did not expect that.
I looked into it because tornadoes suck.
Yeah, he was in the middle of a tornado.
I got through it. I survived this.
But how?
I need to understand why it's fucking...
I'm like, God, why? Why me?
So floods are the biggest causes of death. I mean, and that kind of makes sense because...
Dude, in China, too.
You know, that kind of makes sense, though, in general, because for me, the thing about, like, something like a flood versus, like, a big hurricane or an earthquake or a tornado is that, like, earthquakes happen so few and rare that are huge that actually can cause a giant death toll that we're probably not taking into account, like, the frequencies of deaths under, like, extreme floods. But
man, it is not safe to live in
like
China.
even tsunamis.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
4 million people died in the China flood. 2 million in the Yellow River flood. Fucking the earthquake in '76 killed fucking 750,000 people. Holy shit!
Dude. What for you guys? Like, what's the scariest idea of a natural disaster? Like
a tsunami.
I think I'm tending to agree with you because I feel like those are way more sudden.
Even though we're not like where we particularly live, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, we have all our fault lines already on shore, so it would have to be further off, like into the ocean.
You have to be like Hawaii.
Yeah, so
no, but like I think just seeing a giant impending wall of dune, like just of water coming down at you, is scary.
No, yeah, it's horrifying, but luckily I don't
sandworms.
We're not prone to
Yeah.
tsunamis whatsoever in the West
I mean,
Coast,
we
right?
could.
I'm not, at least.
Alexis can't swim, so he's not gonna be near water.
I can swim.
He's like, fuck you. What about you, Alexis?
I don't think I'm scared of, like...
I'm not even scared of earthquakes either. Like,
yeah, it's
Really?
more of the fact that I may be separate from my family or my loved ones, and it's like, do I take care of myself or do I go for them?
You're not scared more of the disaster itself. You're about the repercussions.
Yeah, the repercussions.
I think that's a very real thing. Like, I was thinking about this movie before we even watched it, and like I remember going through different phases in my life. Like, I don't know. We've all talked about this, I think, in certain podcasts. When I was young, I remember having these like vivid dreams of like whether it be some sort of danger at school or something like a disaster happens, and how I would do something super heroic or something crazy, and like, oh, I'd be like an action star. I'd through a zombie apocalypse, do this, and this. And nowadays, like, I go through college and stuff and early work, I'm like, oh my God, it'd be so nice to just die in one of those and not have debt. And then now,
Jesus Christ. That's not what I'm thinking at all.
No. But now that I have like significant others and stuff, I'm just like, oh shit, like I can't even think about myself. I just need to make it home to like these people in my life that matter and and pray that there's no like fallout that really affects me and my loved ones.
No, you know what's crazy? The movie, I don't know if you guys watched The Impossible. It's about the tsunami that happened in the Philippines. That movie fucked me up because it was exactly talking about these points. Shit. Literally, the tsunami itself was devastating and like tons of people died, but the movie focused on the family and the aftermath and how they had to recuperate and they couldn't find each other. They're in a foreign country. They don't speak the language. And like they're basically like, it's not just about me dying here. Like my two kids are out there and they're separated from their father. And the entire movie, you're like, shit, are they ever gonna find each other? Mm-hmm. And luckily, I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but like it ends up being, it turns out
the impossible happens.
It turns out okay, but it was fucking scary to watch. And the fact that it was based on a true event, it just like it fucked me up. It was a good one. If you haven't seen that disaster movie,
I remember when I was young, like being obviously foreigners, all of us, like my mom trained in me that if an earthquake ever happened, she was like, I need you to memorize your grandparents' number in Colombia so that if you ever get access to a landline or something that can access them and our phone systems are down, you can call them, notify them where you're at. And then when we get access, like it's like a third point. We didn't have anybody else in the U.S. that we could call at the time. Like,
wait, does Colombia have? What's their natural disaster? Are they also earthquakes?
They don't have, like, Chile gets earthquakes and like South America. Like
Peru,
they'll feel them if they're really fucking crazy.
No, I think Colombia's cocaine.
It's
That's a natural resource.
no, our natural
Resource.
disaster is white people coming into our country and pillaging it. That's what ours is.
He's like, fun pixie sticks. Let's go.
Yeah, it's
booger sugar.
ours is what is it called? Not colonization. Fucking
Repopulation.
no.
Gentrification.
Gentrification is our natural disaster. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh,
But
man.
you know, I think what scares me more about natural disaster is the after effects, like the looting and the marauding.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Dude,
The idea of like, I mean, it kind of starts to feel like a zombie apocalypse or something
Yeah.
else. Like
Yeah.
everybody fends for themselves. Like
I'm
people
sh-
are crazy.
I
shooting
think
people.
that's one thing that we I brought up
down.
too
Yeah.
as well. Like during the movie, I was like, hey, dude, like if some shit like this goes down, like you gotta have supplies. Like
Yeah.
you gotta be ready. You gotta have a fucking a generator. You gotta have gasoline.
George,
you
you're
gotta
not
have
allowed to
perishable-
any of the stuff that I have. I see.
I'm like, I know a guy, guys. We're good.
He's like,
You know-
okay, he's not letting us say.
But
He's
you know
not.
what's stupid about that though is lately every time I have a conversation with that with my girlfriend, it's never an earthquake disaster kit or
He
a
has a girlfriend.
fire. It's a fucking like zombie prep. She's like, well, if
We gotta get a crossbow. We gotta get our hands on a
Are
crossbow.
we going to Costco? We going to Walmart? Where's the supply? I'm like, we're worried about
Actually,
zombies. We're
I'm
not
glad.
worried
I'm
about-
glad you bring this up because I feel like the best way to avoid zombies is to have like a night suit. You know, like the metal full metal suit because there's nothing to bite.
Well,
Yeah,
I
but then you
think
can't move.
You could just wear like work, like overalls, like for work. You
Some
know,
Carhartt
like yeah, a
or
lot-
Carhartt.
We gotta
Or
stick up on
you
Carhartt.
know what would be
Carhartt sales after this.
You can't wear
podcast.
Carhartt. You're not allowed. Me and Nick are the only people allowed in this fucking room to wear Carhartt. Number one. Number two, you can wear
Not blue
chainmail.
collar.
You
chainmails.
could get chain.
But chainmail, like I feel like people forget.
It's too heavy, you know.
What about
it's very
Velcro?
No, because it
You're
can
gonna
rip
stick
it.
to them.
Which side though?
You're abrasive, so you're killing
Right.
them.
So Alexis
It's
would die
scratchy.
in a zombie apocalypse. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got that. All right, off the list.
Yeah. Do you
That's
think
not
they'd
how
eat
we're
them
gonna-
ass first or what?
Well, I'd hope so.
Yeah.
I'd hope so.
No, they're going for they're gonna go for the face.
Hey, if it's one thing that zombie apocalypse shows or movies have taught us is that the real monsters are the humans.
Are the humans?
that's
Really,
true.
you don't gotta worry about the
Isaac
monsters.
just admitted
You
that
gotta worry about other people trying to kill you and loot you. and
Isaac just
fucking take
admitted
your
he'd
shit.
shoot somebody in an earthquake.
Yeah.
It's like a 4.0, and he'd just kill people.
It's like no reason. I just.
Oh my god, he's like, well, I think that light bulb.
Hey, hey, yo,
Hey, you guys
I
are
got-
lifelong friends,
Hey, I gotta
but
protect my property.
teach their own.
Exactly.
Life, liberty, property, boys.
Yeah, it's one of the amendments. for sure.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a chance to talk about a lot of the different types of like disasters and disaster movies out there. I mean, going into this, I kind of wanted to ask you guys what you felt about like the characters in the scenes in particular. Like, what stood out to you?
The
What-
characters aren't very interesting, are
They're
they?
kind of forgettable, to be
Yeah.
honest.
They,
with
they
you.
really didn't even.
It's
act.
really about the show.
Honestly, like what the director portrayed in like the scenes was better than what they were saying. 'Cause, like the dialogue was
Right.
shit.
Yeah.
The like some of the visual effects of like the when they're talking about science are just shitty.
But I think
Compared-
that's actually what it looked like back then. I
Probably.
think because even today,
You
like
know, that sad ass like little diorama that they had playing on the screen every time. It was
Yeah.
the same one. I was like, nothing's changing.
Well, no,
like,
no,
what
no.
are they looking at?
It's
So
getting
it-
worse.
They're like, it's gonna get real cold.
it's just I think I'm not gonna lie. I think I disagree. I think it was getting bigger, but it was the same satellite
Right.
image because it was just slowly showing that the hurricane was growing.
George, you understand they had fucking dial-up back then.
no,
okay,
no,
dick?
no. I just thought it was funny because just like I mean, to today's standards, you're kind of like nothing's really going
That
on.
was
on
20
the
years
screen.
ago, you
Yeah.
dick, like
Yeah.
you said.
It's changed.
I get what
It's
you're saying.
changed.
I get what
But
you're saying.
I mean,
but
I see
I-
George's point though.
I see your guys' point. I think a lot of I did like some of the side characters even in the library sections because like I don't think
The
any-
homeless guy, yeah.
the homeless guy was cool. Even like the small discussion of the like the two people who are really into books and stuff like that. Like just bringing up that part that like I don't think I ever really processed as a kid, and maybe even now just process as an adult like that. Someone's trying to say like, look, this is like something that could potentially like destroy us if we don't take care of it, and it's clearly doing a gigantic impact on New York that has so much history, especially the public library. So he's like, I'm going to preserve a little bit of history with me. Like if I can carry this and say like this is something that's important to me.
I get what that scene was trying to show, but I'm like, bro, there's gonna be a lot more books that survive this.
Who's
like,
reading?
it's,
But that's the point. Isn't the book? That's like what he just did was
yeah, it's a
save the
representation of
Well, no,
like,
no. What he
knowledge
saved
and all
is
this
what he saved is the literal equivalence of like the Declaration of Independence. It's a book older than that.
yeah.
It's the first book ever printed. So I liked that they
Technically, it wasn't. But whatever.
the Gutenberg Bible is the first book ever printed. You wanna get fact checked, motherfucker? I'll fact check you right
Honestly,
Pull it up,
Fact
pull it up.
Nick is so
I'll
confident
whip
about
my
that.
cock out.
I
Rip
believe
it out, dude. I want to see a 2-inch Punisher,
now.
dude.
You want to feel it? That's a different thing.
Exactly.
But no, I liked the little like things that they added there. One of the scenes that fucked me up as a kid, actually more than anything, was the wolves. I know that it looked like, I remember being like kind of not afraid of dogs and shit, but like afraid of the idea of like being able to
Something so
find an
savage.
animal in the dark. I watched this like as a kid, so every time I remember going down like my stairs at night or anything like that, like there's a scene where all you see is them kind of looking in the dark and their eyes are
glowing.
light.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, that shit used to like as a kid, I just visualized that shit in the shadows. So I remember all that.
According to Google, it's the Epic of Gilgamesh.
But this printed. I'm not saying first book ever made. I'm saying first book ever printed. Make sure you get that shit.
And type less loud.
What about you guys? Like, what did you guys feel about different scenes?
Like Chris.
Jesus Christ.
I'll wait for him to
Cut
finish.
that.
Let's wait for him.
Nope. According to Google, it's called the Demon Sutra.
The
Diamond Sutra.
Diamond Sutra.
What the fuck?
The demons. That one sounds more
The
interesting.
Demon Sutra. The
Fact
Diamond
check,
Sutra.
Nick.
Where's that? Let me see what it says.
Tang Dynasty. That's a drink, man.
Yeah.
This is the first book ever printed.
Yes, it's 868 AD.
Nick, I believed in you. What the fuck?
I didn't get a chance to hear from you. What was your favorite, like, or I guess what?
Oh,
scenes
back to
really-
me.
All right,
Yeah, that's
and
what
we're back, ladies
All
and gentlemen.
So one of the scenes that scared me as a kid was when the reporter's doing his thing, and then this giant ass bus just comes straight at him, and that like really scared me as a kid. But
No,
now
it was a sign.
was it a sign? Oh yeah, it was a giant
It was
billboard.
the sign
Yeah, it
that
was a
took the
billboard.
reporter out. And
It was
the
a bill.
bus that
It was
crushed the
yeah.
Porsche.
Okay, so I'm referring to the billboard that just smacked into this guy as he's
I didn't
reporting.
expect it.
No,
honestly.
I
Like,
remember,
they
like,
actually killed him?
Well, like Isaac was saying,
Just
that
slapped the
scene in
shit out of
particular
him.
would
You
replay
gotta die
on
for the
FX.
craft, baby. You gotta die for it.
Yeah, that was the scene that they'd replay on FX when they were
Yeah.
like, FX has the movies.
But that just kind of like reminds me of how stupid some of the people in this film were, because you know they say shit like, "Oh my god, it's getting closer," and then they die.
But no,
Yeah,
no,
then
no.
there's a guy with a camera.
But that's
like,
hey,
yeah.
no,
Get that
listen.
shot, get that
That's
shit, get
fucking.
the shot.
I think that's real as shit. If it was an earthquake in LA, I think Californians and people who come here are more prepared. But because it's the first time a tornado
I
has
think
ever
that
touched, they're like, "Whoa,
They,
this is crazy."
They hit it on the nose because, like, now with modern technology, I think it'd be even more people doing that. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like before, not everyone had cameras.
Dude, they wouldn't
like
even
that.
look up from their phones.
Now
They'd just be
everyone has it in
looking
their
at their phone.
pocket, so the word would be like,
They do a stupid TikTok.
I'll
or
be live
something.
on TikTok or Instagram and be like, yo!
I'll be with my giant magnifying glass fucking lens. I'll be taking pictures from like 400 feet away and shit.
You're like, dude, that guy got fucked up.
Have you seen that?
Damn, that guy
have you seen that
died.
meme where it's that fucking guy in Buffalo, Oklahoma somewhere, and he's
Right.
like, here it comes, and there's a tornado. That's gonna be me, bro. I swear to God,
Oh my God.
it's gonna be amazing.
That's a real city, by the way.
But you know, I actually even thinking about that though, to be
Yeah, that's where I got hit by a
That's where you
tornado.
got hit by a tornado. It was George.
You think, bro? I drove through that shit. I'll record it for the gram.
You know, one thing that I think movies like this would also benefit from though is showing like a brief period of different people from different cities. Like you got like I actually think the LA scene was fucking great. Like
They showed us Tokyo.
They showed us Tokyo was a very little bit with the hailstorms, but like I wish they would have expanded more on like the widespread disaster in Tokyo and then going to a place in Europe. Like actually, it's pretty shocking that this place they decided to show Tokyo over fucking Europe. Like I feel
Yeah.
like every like major picture usually decides to show as many white people as possible from as many different fucking places.
I love how like certain parts they were just like, no, fuck them, they're dead.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
past this line in North America, gone,
Yeah.
wiped.
What about them?
What about the Canadians?
Fuck them.
No, honestly.
They're already dead. Just, okay.
What about you, George? What was your favorite scene, or what kind of stood out to you? What was impactful?
I mean, I don't know if there's one specifically that stood out to me. There was a lot of ones. Like, I mean, in the beginning when the ice is like breaking off and they're just on top.
ISIS.
No, the ice is breaking
Oh, okay.
off.
Different words.
Jesus.
This
Christ.
happened near 9/11. Good point. It could have been.
They weren't
this
there
was-
yet. They weren't there.
This was all.
It was a global
terroristic-
conspiracy. They're seeding clouds in Saudi Arabia.
That's what
Dubai.
happens. That's what they're doing now.
Exactly.
Holy shit!
It's a global
We're
conspiracy.
uncovering it now, ladies and
No,
gentlemen.
that scene, and then also the scene where the guy breaks through the freaking glass, and it turns out they're on top of a mall,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's how like much snow has fallen. That kind of like
I don't
I'm like,
know.
oh, they're just kind of walking around, and then
Dude,
out
was
of nowhere.
That was a lot. That was like they
No,
should have
but
showed the guy dying.
For me,
that
it was a
worst.
lot, but it also showed the grand like scale of things because it's like, oh shit, they're not just walking on like frozen over ground. They're on top of a
Yeah.
fucking mall
Yeah,
and
think
a
about
building.
that's got to be at least 20 to 30 feet. Of
no, yeah,
sound.
so that fucked me up. I was like, wow, that's a really good use of
Dude,
what they had to work with.
No, but imagine the repercussions of an event like this. Like, imagine what's gonna happen to all that snow.
Imagine that was the whole movie.
Yeah. Imagine.
Well, even just again going back to the fucking disasters we just talked about. What comes after the snow is flooding,
Yeah.
and we already know that
So this is
California.
not
for
even the
example-
end of it. This is just the beginning.
That's just
the tip of the iceberg.
Oh shit!
Wow.
God damn.
Wow. But everyone's in Mexico though. So.
And we're the Titanic.
And Florida.
And Florida.
El tipo del icebergo.
Oh.
Damn.
How do you say iceberg in Spanish?
Iceberg.
Berga.
Why'd you say it like that?
Icebergas. That's good. That's all. Why'd you say it in Japanese? Actually, that's what I'm questioning.
That's
I
my
don't know.
question.
Dude,
I think
nigga's
why did
so
he say-
fucking racist.
He's so racist in this episode.
No, it's because it was in Japan too. I'm including our Japanese.
No, but they didn't make it to Mexico, bro.
yeah,
It's
well,
literally
Also,
iceberg.
hey, no, you know where they went? You know where they went?
No way.
They went to Peru.
Peru. That's exactly. Hey, no, they went to.
They went to Peru.
Dude, I think your dad would have preferred to die in California. He's like, fuck,
He's like,
bro.
dude, I gotta go back to Peru. Fuck that.
shit.
You know, but
Like,
actually,
nah.
thinking about it too, there's so many movies where I always feel like I'm like, oh, even like zombie apocalypse, it's like, oh, escape to a boat, escape to a boat. This probably actually is one of those too that you can't do that. Like being surrounded by that much water probably perpetuates this whole.
And then
you're gonna freeze.
You would have frozen to
Well,
death. Yeah.
you got to do like 2012, bro. They all escaped to the fucking
shut the
Moses
fuck up, dude.
boats, just the fucking
were magically
the,
built.
The ark.
In China?
Yeah.
China.
No, you gotta head for the mountains. I think that's the only place.
To
like,
the mountains?
Yeah, because if you build like something in a base in a mountain, it's above sea level.
If you build it, they will
flooding
come.
is
You would have freeze to death either way.
No, but at least you're above sea
So
level.
wait, so what's
and
your
the flooding's
strategy?
not
Tell us
gonna
your
kill
strategy
what
right now.
would
What are
you
you
you.
doing?
You head to the mountains.
This movie.
and you go into a multi-million-dollar base is already
Okay.
pretty
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Right, like you got that
Easy
fucking...
peasy.
So you're trying to buy a plot of land, let's
No,
say like
you
100
just-
acres, right?
You fucking go wherever Bill Gates go, and Elon
You think
Musk,
Bill Gates
okay?
is gonna fucking tell you?
Well, that's what's crazy
What
too.
if on the news it's like Bill Gates killed himself?
Oh
Fuck.
my god, dude.
Fuck. Now what?
Fuck, that was my plan.
That's
A.
just 'cause- that's
Fuck,
just-
boys.
He only did
now
it,
it's bad.
but the
Bitcoin,
news-
30 cents.
It would specify that it's because he was on Epstein's list.
Right.
That's why he killed himself. It wasn't.
Bitcoin
it
goes
had
to
nothing
30
do with
cents.
this.
I'm killing myself.
Fuck.
It's fine. I'm done.
Yeah.
Elon?
If there's a 4.0
Showed his
earthquake,
dick
Isaac
pic.
will kill you. So it doesn't
It's over.
matter.
It's over, man.
But no, what about you, Isaac? What's
You
your
gotta head
strategy?
to the
for
high
this
ground.
What's my strategy?
shit? Yeah,
He's
you're
like,
in the
stay
shit.
home.
You know what I would do is like I would get all my trucks,
Mhm.
make a wall or a perimeter around my.
Damn, he's
my-
already
right.
Republican.
Yeah. Like make
First thing you do is
make
build a
a
wall.
Getting on my goddamn trucks, man.
make a whole perimeter, right?
My truck's gonna step all the water.
I got like
It'll do it.
I got like 4 like industrial grade generators in my yard. Bring them over here.
Right,
I got like 400 gallons of gas and diesel,
right. And then what?
and then I'm just chilling here, man. I got like 400,000.
All right,
rounds of-
right. So
Are you-
that's a way to stop the looters and the people.
That's
But,
how
like,
you.
how
That's
about
how you
the
create
flooding?
an
How about the
ozone
flooding?
How do you
hole.
stop the like 20 feet of snow that's gonna land on top of you?
Right.
buddy, you build around it, okay?
Build them up. He's like,
He
how?
makes it seem so easy.
He's like, hey, you know
I'm
what?
like,
Hey,
you
You
know
just
something
burn
we
more
don't?
fuel.
he's like, I run a landscaping business. I got Mexican labor up for days. All right?
He's
We're
like,
building this shit.
give us 20, 30 minutes. It's all gone. It's gone.
What's up with this Al Pacino
Yeah.
Scarface accent?
I'm buying tacos for the guys. We're getting it done.
First of all, you know it's not tacos. It's Coronas and beers. Okay?
Triunfo's still gonna be open, bro.
I know.
It's like,
You got to give them the Coronas after work. You buy them tacos for their break.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
George turned fucking Cuban all of a sudden.
George, you come from
I
like,
can't
You-
do.
you
I
are-
can't do a bad Mexican
Nick
accent.
is
'cause it's
Japanese. Guy
It's too
turns
close to
Cuban.
home.
George, you're like the most fucking frijol motherfucker in this
Bro,
room.
but I can't do a bad Mexican accent. That's why I gotta do another Latin.
Hey, dog, you know what you need to do is just talk. And it's right there. You don't need to do shit. You need to act.
Nah, my Spanish is great. Fuck you.
No, I want to hear you Spanish. Let's go.
No.
It's pretty good.
Hey.
It's pretty good.
Nah, I heard him. He stutters way too much.
Yeah, dude.
That's just me in English too, bitch.
Yeah. You just can't.
I
speak.
can't talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his ADHD.
So the day after tomorrow.
It's called ADA
You're
tard.
not safe. I want to know your plan. What are you doing?
What am I? I'm going to fucking Isaac's. That's
Jesus
my plan.
Christ.
I'm like, hey, bro.
Isaac's like, ooh.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait,
I
so
only
you
got
guys-
enough food and fuel for.
We're in
my
California.
family,
You guys
dog.
are hunkering down rather than going south, like they tell you to. Are you guys actually following this shit?
So this is a movie, and it's not real.
No.
And I don't think.
Wait.
Put yourself.
What?
George did an epiphany. This shit's
Nick, it depends
it was
on
documentary.
Dora is not real. That bitch is fake. Oh
like
yeah,
this.
but fucking Nick. So we follow what the movie does because
No,
that's real.
I'm saying no, because
no.
okay, you
Put
act
yourself
like,
in the world.
So wait, has the government never given you a mandated fucking order to do something like
I'm
stay
telling
indoors?
you, I'm heading to the mountains.
Okay,
That's
so
high ground.
So if
high
they
ground.
tell you go south, you're going north
Fuck
towards
'em.
mountains.
You don't want to go where the masses are anyway.
Yeah,
That's impeding.
Too much traffic.
Yeah,
Way too much
You're
traffic.
fucked, bro. You can't even get that far. Like, especially
George,
if the
the car
George is-
won't make it,
George
dog.
is like, I can't cross the motherfucker.
I can't cross back. What if everything goes okay?
What if it was a false alarm?
You were just trying to get me to cross.
Hey, but I'm already here. God damn it.
They got all of us.
He's like, my DACA?
Damn,
Fuck.
they got me. God damn it.
Oh,
And then just Trump at the White House. He's like, we did it, boys. They're all back home.
He's like,
Down
all
the
those
wall.
frijoleros, they're out of here, dude.
bad hombres south.
Wall, right the fuck up.
We're gonna make them pay for it.
They're done.
They're gonna
They're
need a
done.
job. I just took them out of the
He's like,
country.
that wall gonna look like the DMZ in Korea, man. There are fucking landmines everywhere.
Oh yeah. Dude. No, I mean, I get it. I kind of want to hunker down too. I mean, I think there's a fucking, like, as much as I don't want to, I want to listen to like an order like that. I think there's a genuine fucking feeling of like, I don't want to lose my shit. Like I worked hard for this, and
Yeah.
like,
Well, that kind of reminds you of remember when Hawaii got the false alarm for the missiles?
oh shit, yeah, and everybody was like, we're about to die. Like,
Yeah,
we're
I think
about to
a
die.
lot of people just kind of like, okay, this is happening. I can't do anything about
I
it.
gotta imagine how many people like just did some crazy shit because they.
See, but
Yeah,
it-
but see, it'd be, sorry, Gator.
So, like, what
I was gonna say.
Sorry, Gator. I
George,
gotta interrupt.
sorry, excuse me.
No. Look. Let me finish. I think that's true, but they didn't actually have it happening in front of them. If I saw all that shit,
Right,
and
okay,
then I'm
yeah.
like, I'd be like, this is actually happening. Like,
What
it's
would you
actually
do?
do or die.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
the Hawaii thing, I feel like it's kind of like
Yeah.
it might be a thing.
yeah. In that case, I'm taking the carpool lane. I don't care, guys.
you know what I would do? I'd probably
Solo.
Shit.
Breaking the law.
I'm breaking the law.
There's a bunch of abandoned like military bases in California. I'd try to
Seal
find-
Beach, yo.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
good point
That's
too.
a
Seal
good
Beach.
point.
I don't know. I mean,
Nah, I think the military would shoot you on sight, bro.
Not if
Straight
it's
up.
abandoned.
In
dude.
a thing. Well, I mean, is the Seal Beach one abandoned?
okay, Isaac. For you, what's your favorite scene for the movie, or what do you think is?
I think it's when like fucking Jake Gyllenhaal's trying to like act like the macho character. I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
When
You
did that
like
happen?
you talking about when he's running with like the guy? And
yeah,
stuff?
yeah. He's like, I can do it. So I'm Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, that's exactly what he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
that's
it's,
spot
it's,
on.
it's crazy because
Yeah.
throughout the whole time,
Little baby face Jake
we
Gyllenhaal.
just
Yeah.
couldn't
Can't do
get
it.
George to stop talking about Donnie Darko. He's
I know,
just-
dude.
The
Jesus,
whole
like,
time.
what the
Yeah.
fuck is up your?
He's like,
obsession
is
with
that
movie?
Donnie
It's-
Darko?
It's Donnie Darko.
Is that
baby.
Donnie
It's
Darko?
Donnie.
It's Donnie
the
Darko.
Is that
Darko.
Double D's, yo?
You know, but I think that's when the science also started getting weird to me. Like this whole idea of like shit permanently freezing. Like I gotta imagine
Yeah.
some shit
No
can't
way.
fucking freeze the same as other shit. You know?
Like there's actual
Yeah,
fucking fire.
Right.
But also, it's like it's freezing instantly, but like in order. In
Yeah,
unison.
exactly.
It's just kind of like
yeah, like some
come
things
on.
gotta freeze faster than other things.
Yeah.
Somehow they made freezing like a character,
And
like,
also,
like a,
it's very visual,
like a monster,
Very
yeah.
like it's creeping up on you, and it's just
Yeah.
like you probably wouldn't be able to see it. Like
I
it'd just
think
be
if something
fucking-
like that did happen, it would just happen like instantly. There's no like, oh, it's coming at you.
Well, you know that's
That's what
what's
I'm
crazy
saying,
though, is because
yeah.
I mean, not to get like a little sciencey, but like you know, like you've heard of like
Do
super
it.
cold liquids or something like that. I forgot what they're called. Like it's like a liquid that is cooled past freezing, but it's like done so slowly.
Sub-Zero.
No, it's done slowly, so it gets to a point where like if you shock it, like you ever seen like a can where it's like it was put in the freezer and you
Oh,
hit it,
yeah, and you hit it
then
and it's
immediately
slush.
freezes over, but you can see that it's like slowly
Yeah.
freezing from the
So
impact point.
I've actually had that happen to me once
me
with
too.
a water bottle.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I looked into it, and it's because of the way that the crystallization forms on the bottle from you smacking it.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not necessarily like the actual liquid itself or how cold it is. It's just
It's a
that
reaction.
It's
No.
Yeah, it's a reaction, and it's to that Goldilocks zone where it's like it's almost freezing, but it hasn't.
No,
quite.
it's so. I love you, but you're wrong. It is.
No, but what I'm explaining, but that's what you're
you're
talking
trying to
about.
fight with the engineer right here.
So no,
No, but isn't that what you're talking about? Or what are
You're
you
right.
talking
Actually,
about?
you're 100% right about the crystallization, but it's brought past its freezing point. But because like I don't know what it is about water in particular or certain liquids, but
because there's no impurities, so it has to be water that's like very like alkaline.
You could do that with Coke.
I've
You
done
can
this
do it
with
with
Coke.
Coke.
Yeah.
You can do it with sodas too. It's just about like the state of movement.
And what is
like,
it then?
It's like the movement
George,
and vibration of
fucking
the
go to school,
molecules.
dude.
So when you smack it, the sudden shock,
Isaac, you're not adding anything to this.
like actually allows it to.
That's true,
freeze.
because when water's cooled down to freezing temperatures, the molecules are essentially vibrating.
Yeah.
Like slowly, right, like that, right?
Yeah,
or
so
not slowly.
not
but
an
super
absolute
fast.
zero.
But I wonder if that's that's essentially what this is trying to show, right? Like, is that like essentially like a portion or something got shocked, and then slowly everything's building
Cascaded.
that frost and freezing. The air, everything around it is just freezing and getting to that point.
No, I get what you're saying,
It's
but like
pretty-
also the way that they just made it, they fucking made
Yeah,
it into
was
a monster.
It was a little
visually.
cheesy, but I did like that it gave like the weather, like Alexis said, like a bit of characterization. Like it's a threat that we can see.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, like you have like movies nowadays that are trying to do like invisible monsters and stuff like that, and they really push it with like sound and other things that I don't know if they had really thought back in the day. So back in the day they really relied on visuals. They're like, you're not going to understand that the wind stopping suddenly means that they're in the eye of the storm. They had to show them, holy shit, all of a sudden the day is clear as fuck.
And then
We're in the eye.
And you have to create a suspense as well. Like,
Yeah.
because it's not like, oh fuck, we understand the fucking science
Yeah.
behind this.
Actually, I bet this movie was really good in a movie theater.
Oh, dude, it was
Because
It
it was the
phenomenal.
sound, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was scared shitless as a 7-year-old watching this.
Oh yeah, that's right. You saw it in a movie
Well, I
theater.
mean, I'm kind of excited. I mean, we talk about disaster movies. I think are for me like even more impactful than like typical horror movies because I don't really fucking care for the supernatural shit as much, like
You don't believe in
monsters and
ghosts?
stuff like that. Like it's not even just the lack of
Hey,
belief.
that's a separate question, dude.
It's not even lack of belief
Sorry.
for me. It's one of those things where it's like if I'm in the Nun or something else, like I'm just gonna accept it.
You're in a nun,
Like I'm saying, if
boy.
buddy.
you know,
I don't know about
I
that.
do.
Whoa, Slayer's gonna play.
hey bro,
I don't know
Haters
if you
gonna
know how
hate.
nuns work, but
Yeah.
if I'm in any
they're
one of
married
those
to the
settings, though, like
church,
I'm not.
sir.
I'm not out here trying to fight, you know, demons and ghosts. You know, I'm not trying to fight
Right.
like
Like a demon
supernatural-
slayer or something like
Yeah,
that.
no, I'm not. You know, no Kimetsu, no, but yeah, I'd
Right.
for me. You know, none of
Right,
that shit.
Right.
But what I am gonna do, like in this situation, is obviously try to survive if you're in a natural disaster. So I think that's where it's a little bit more creepy, and a little bit more scary. Like you actually feel like there's a chance, and that little bit of hope also gives you something to lose. And versus like when you think about like Freddy versus Jason situation, someone invading my
Love
nightmares,
that movie.
or like just Freddy in general, like
I don't know, man. I feel like in all scary movies, there's an easy solution to is shoot him with the fucking gun.
yeah, I mean,
And like these movies take place like in the Midwest, in the South somewhere. I'm like, there's got to be a motherfucker that has a shotgun or a pistol or a rifle.
yeah, but they're all too friendly. They're like, hey, you got some weird scars all over you, and you got a machete in your hand. You're hi neighbor, and then they let you in.
Let's hear about what some of our friends think on Letterboxd. All right, this one's by Maddie, 2.5 stars. 2004 was a simpler time, but twink Jake Gyllenhaal and Americans illegally crossing into Mexico still remain politically, economically, and sexually relevant today. Yeah, man, I mean, it was pretty on the nose. You know, Americans going into Mexico for refuge.
Hey, that's actually a huge thing going on right. Not for refuge, but they're
working,
hitting up.
working from home.
They're loving fucking the Ciudad de Mexico. Like they're fucking loving it there.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, who wouldn't though?
Yeah,
I mean,
people
honestly,
are pissed about Mexican people moving into Mexico.
it's crazy because they're bringing up the prices for everything, and then they're just kind of like
Gentrification.
they're
Yeah,
literally like, oh, but we're getting paid in USD because we're fucking digital nomads,
Dude,
and now we're gonna.
dead ass a real thing I thought about like a few years ago. Like when I went to the last time I went to Colombia, we were looking at like apartments in Medellin, and it was insane. Like I have a cousin who's moving there right now from Bogota, the capital, and she was telling me, she was like, oh yeah, she's like, you can live in like the high rises that are like in the nicest areas of Medellin, and your rent would be like $1,200.
Bro, honestly, that
What?
might be the move for some people. Like, 'cause
Yeah, if you have a remote job,
the one thing
fuck,
though is
dude.
that you still got to pay taxes, which is
Georgia
crazy.
1099, dude, you should do that.
Yeah, so
He is.
I've been thinking about it.
But now here's one thing. In the movie, it seems like very like, oh yeah, get over here, guys. Yeah, come to Mexico. It's cool, you know, whatever. But I feel like in real life, it'd be like, no.
Okay, now here's a real question.
Nah, I
Would you-
think Mexico would do it.
Would you
Just guess.
would your partners follow you to a different country?
Yeah, she would.
I think so. I mean, with the impending doom, I don't think. I think we'd make a decision together.
I think
Like,
even without impending doom, I think she would go.
Yeah, I think we'd have to have a conversation.
Oh, you're
about
talking
it, but
about just a random move?
Yeah, like it does. Like no, like I mean, just like hey, you guys say like, hey, this is the better situation. We moving to a different country.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we've
I think
talked about moving states.
If it's
we need to
because of
stuff
like a natural disaster or
You'd move
something like
states?
that, the situation.
That's crazy.
for
It's
sure.
if it was a requirement, like if we couldn't find a house here or
Yeah,
anything
okay.
like that. Like
Oh,
we
you
wanna start
won't.
family.
I won't.
I love
We
California too much.
I can help
wouldn't.
you guys.
wouldn't
I love
move
California
unless
too, but it's
necessary, you know?
tough. But I mean, going back again,
Don't leave.
thank you for the review. And the big thing is, I don't know. I feel like I agree with you. It's crazy to think about this
Also-
climate that we're at politically.
No, literally. Well, not just like I mean,
Literally, nice one.
fuck. You were gonna. You took my words.
You're
dude.
too slow.
I
You
was
I was
stuttered.
gonna talk
You're
about the
stuttering.
climate. Yeah, no, but I think we should do something before it gets to this point, boys.
All right, next review.
All right, thank you,
IEBs.
Maddie. That was a good one.
Just kidding.
Thank you,
Damn.
Maddie.
They got 149 likes on that review. Wow.
Oh sure. Well.
All right, this one's a 5-star by Karen Mancera.
Oh man.
All right, this is gonna be a little long, but I'll try to make it quick. This is the first Jake Gyllenhaal movie that I saw. I was 11 years old. I was obsessed with this movie, and I saw it every time it was shown on TV, just like you. I always thought he was cute. Young Jake is adorable. However, the main reason I became obsessed with this movie was because I thought the same thing could happen, and I was so scared about it. I'm still scared. A lot of parentheses in this. Global warming is real, and we are all doomed.
A little melodramatic.
You know
I
who?
think-
You know who's
I
really
think
doomed?
it's
It's not gonna be us. It's gonna be our like
Yeah, it's gonna
3
be,
generations from
It's
now.
gonna be a few people. I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly think that we have a duty to help prevent that for future
Yeah,
generations.
absolutely.
But honestly, so many people are selfish, ourselves
Yeah.
included. I'm like, I don't think.
But I mean, it's the same
I'm-
thing as like it starts with us.
I'll use glass bottles instead of plastic when I can.
We can try, but honestly, it's the corporations that are messing
Yeah.
things up. And as much as we
It's
want to
Taylor
save
Swift.
water,
Corporate greed.
It's Taylor Swift.
there's not a lot that we can
dude,
do.
we should get Taylor Swift, man, to like
Yeah.
Yeah,
endorse
I'm
us.
sure.
Swift.
I'm
I
sure
mean,
she'd love being
I mean,
on the
after the
podcast.
5th jet, I get it.
Yeah.
But like the 6th one, come on,
Come
man.
on.
It's just not
That's-
necessary.
Yeah, you don't
That's
need to
where
do
we
that.
draw the line.
Yeah. We-
But this reviewer, Karen, she makes a good point about Jake Gyllenhaal. I think when he started his career, such as in Donnie Darko, he was a cute guy, kind of unassuming. But then he became this like hunk, this masculine,
yeah, like
muscly
Southpaw and
man.
shit. Oh my god.
Southpaw.
You think that fucking guy's? I don't know, dude.
I mean,
Wait,
dude,
what?
This,
What?
this guy was
You think he's
obsessed with.
masculine, dude?
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
me?
I mean, have you
He's
seen photos of
huge.
him in Roadhouse?
he looks insane.
I don't.
bro.
I haven't seen him. Let me see.
I mean, I think
Even
this
like
person
Southpaw,
was
like I
obsessed
said.
with this movie, but Gator was obsessed with Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback
so
Mountain.
it's like you
But
go-
like,
you
who
fall
isn't?
you fall in love with him at one of those stages. Donnie
Right.
Darko, Brokeback Mountain,
Yeah.
Day After Tomorrow. For Nick, it's Nightcrawler. 'cause he's a fucking
Nightcrawler.
creep.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
measure my life to it.
Yeah.
No.
All right, next one. This one's by Brits, 3.5. I'm not even kidding you guys. This is what I thought was going to happen in 2012. I sat on my bed with my Twilight book clutched to my chest and prayed to a God I didn't even think was real. Crossing fingers emoji. 3.5
Jesus
stars.
Christ. Pray to God it's not even real. I think
Shit,
we've
dude.
all been in a situation where we're kind of like, we're actually genuinely worried for their life and be like, hey, I'll do anything. I'll pray
I will
to a
say
deity,
this-
everything that.
This is, as much as I like this movie, this is one of the fewer ones that I believe is going to happen. Like, I do think a San Andreas type accident is something that I believe way more than this.
No, yeah, I think the disaster itself, for me, that would be realistic, that I'm scared the most about, is nuclear warfare. I feel
Yes.
like that's
100%.
that's
Shit, yeah.
well, I'm sorry,
It's not natural, but it's a
I mean,
fucking disaster.
It's a disaster
Yeah.
that humanity could legitimately cause, and that it might be a possibility in the future. I mean,
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
if you guys have ever heard that situation that happened with those Russian submarines, that they got an alert that they
Yeah.
were being hit, and they basically were about to launch counter missiles with nuclear warheads and hit the U.S., but one general decided that they wanted to double check and make sure it wasn't a false alarm, and because that general said no, they weren't able to flip the switches to send those fucking warheads. That would have happened. I think that could have been impending doom for
I
humanity.
bet you that wasn't the only close call we've
No.
Exactly, that's what I'm
encountered.
saying. You ever watch war games? Like, shit like that could happen, like, just because of the way technology
Maybe a movie
is.
review on the pod.
Even the most recent Mission Impossible and shit.
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
No,
don't,
for that,
don't,
that's very real for me and horrific thought.
Yeah.
It
Nah, I don't
fucking
think.
scares the shit
I think
out
the
of me.
U.S. got something to like combat that shit.
I'm sure, but I agree with the review. I think
Yeah.
that this movie, watching it young for sure, definitely sparked some of that feelings in me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Britt. All right, this is the last one by Kizar Islam. 2.5 stars. I obviously did not watch this for the scientific inaccuracies, the bad acting, the shitty dialogues, American being the heroes. Why is this always the case, or the sentimentalism? Why did I watch this 2.5 stars?
Well, one, the Americans make the movies, so
America.
That's what it is.
I mean, I feel like this is classic, early 2000s kind of like, hell yeah, America, we can do this kind of movie,
No, definitely.
Well, I mean, like, no disrespect to you, whoever you are, but like, as a person who isn't a fucking American, I'm not complaining that there's not enough fucking movies that Colombians are the protagonists made by Americans.
Same here as a Peruvian.
I could give two shits.
There could be an argument that Scarface was a protagonist to fucking Colombians.
I mean, there could be an argument.
Yeah, a degenerate drug lord.
I thought he was Cuban.
Yeah, he really made us look great.
Was he not Cuban?
Yeah, he was getting the coca from Colombia.
But yeah, he was making us look good because he was giving us money.
Yeah.
But I get the point of like, yeah, it sucks that it's always the same people. Like, I do like that this is a start of showing like different types of backgrounds and stuff in cultures, and like now that Hollywood is really trying to say like Americans don't have to be white. Like, I know that some people are like unfortunately trying to fight this trend to show what Americans look like and that we all look like different people, including the people in this room. But I think that for now we just have to at least admit that the setting is America. Like we could, as much as because
New York.
When like the biggest problem too is like kind of my argument to this shit is like, how I would feel if Americans were trying to make a movie about my country. Like, I can't imagine how it would feel if they were trying to make a movie about the cultures and other people without like their permission. Like, it'd have to be a film writer or director or like people who are native to that country or origin for me to even feel comfortable being like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know, like I get, I mean, I'm not going to argue against the shitty dialogue and some of the, weather inaccuracies. This is of a time where we didn't fucking care about that shit as much as we do now. We talk about Nolan's movies. We talk about a lot of different, like, great directors nowadays who take the time, even fucking Rick and Morty taking the time to hire the right people to really get some of the science down. Nowadays, you make this movie with the scientific inaccuracies, fucking, you deserve to get cooked.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like you said earlier, you kind of changed my point. It's not really about the fucking accuracy of the film. It's more about what it's trying to portray. Hey, we don't do anything. This could be a very real threat to humanity and generations down the road. That's it. The science behind it is just kind of like, we don't have it all figured out. So fucking whoop-dee. At least we're trying to portray, a certain image for it.
Exactly. Well, all right, you guys. I'm glad that we got a chance to do some fucking really unhinged shit and also some scientific shit and a bunch of other bullshit, but had fun with it.
This is a good one. I had a really good time.
Yeah. So
now I think we should just let loose a little more.
Yeah. Let Isaac say some other things.
Now you know the real us. Yeah. Except for Gator, he doesn't represent us as a whole.
Yeah.
No. I don't know. Nick said the fucking most outlandish shit I've ever.
I'm sure.
He got so upset. So upset.
I did get upset. I'm not gonna lie.
Hopefully, if you're still listening, you don't hate us, and you think some of this was at least funny.
And if you do hate us, you can direct your hatred directly at George.
I'm the moderator, so just let me know.
Yeah, just let him know. But again, curious about your guys' reviews. We can start around the room. Let's go with Alexis. What do you think about this film? What do you give this?
Dude, I'll just give it like a solid 6, bro. It's it's like one of those, like one of those early 2000s movies. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's
You're so like early 2000s, bro. You're so there, bro.
It's like, I don't know, man. Like,
it was so like good. Not enough. But
after about 20 years of maybe waiting to see this movie because I was so scared as a child, it wasn't that bad. So
it wasn't that bad. I'm glad to hear that it lived up to
6 out of 10.
Whatever you thought it was. What about you, George? Where are you at in this film?
I mean, there's a lot of takeaways that I really enjoyed, like the graphics. Like I said, I can't believe it's this old and it aged this gracefully. There was a lot of things that I didn't like the inaccuracies, this fucking ad for pro global warming that it's kind of being shoved down my throat, and the Wendy's, fuck Wendy's. So
don't be throwing our fucking future sponsors down the drain, George.
Just kidding, Wendy's, we love you. And then
pay us and we love you.
So anyway, I feel like it needed a little more for me, so I'm gonna give it like I think I'm with Alexis on this, a 6. It's not terrible, but
Isaac, where you at?
I think I give it an 8.
What the fuck?
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. You said America.
Why?
Why? Dude, I can
tell you exactly why. Can I tell you why? Because this movie is rewatchable as fuck, and that's what he likes.
That's true.
That's 1. 2. I have a really nostalgic memory of me watching it in theaters, and like actually watching it like in a big projector. And I remember like
so he ain't no scared.
He ain't scared of me.
Little beach.
Well, you got taken to it. It's not like you're like, hey.
Nah, I was excited, dude.
He was in there just like,
I'm like, sick guy. No, but dude, like I remember like leaving the theater in Main Place and like a fuckload of people. Like I remember like that's like the fullest I've ever seen a theater in my entire life. Like I've never like it was so hard to walk through. Like I remember like no fucking Marvel movie.
Just a blockbuster.
Literally, dude. And no, it did 5 times its money, dude.
This is definition of a blockbuster.
Yeah.
It is, especially for that time before like fucking
$1 billion
like
movies.
$1 billion was a common thing.
I mean, dude, when it came out, I was like 7. We were all around the same age. I still remember it now. Like I'm telling you, that poster with the Statue of Liberty frozen, like that is engraved in my mind.
Yeah, there's few iconic posters that are engraved in my head.
Man, that poster slayed.
Yeah. Keep you. So now you went.
Even though the movie, I don't remember.
Now you're today, 2024.
I'm just switching characters.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
Alex, have you shown us a movie that wasn't in the 90s or below?
Well, Scott Pilgrim, I think.
Oh yeah, Scott Pilgrim. Oh, but the before trilogy.
But it was only
The second one was in 2004, I think, and then the third one was 2014.
Okay. Barely cutting out for
so there you go.
But the majority of them,
he has been saying that we're gonna do some newer movies. So,
but he made it. He made it there.
Yeah.
All right. For me, I think this one is a 7.5. I
say fuck you guys, man.
This is a good film. I mean, and it's tough for me because I know like Dennis Quaid and nobody else in particular fucking killed it in this movie, like acting wise. I get that. Don't get me wrong, but I also feel like not every movie has to be acted by Oscar winning fucking like actors. You know, sometimes it can be shitty dialogue. Like I can't wait for us to one day watch The Core for those of you guys who haven't seen it because it's such a fucking good movie for such a shitty movie.
Well, you really like low-rated movies.
I think. Like, I think you know what it is, George.
I mean, I don't mind it. Like this movie, I actually quite enjoyed.
Yeah, it was fun.
I think it's like I do enjoy like the interstellars of everything. You know, like the really like.
You like to go against the grain, Nick, and I appreciate that.
I wish I did. I'm a basic ass bitch. But no, it's
like Barbie.
I know. I fucking loved Barbie, Oppenheimer. I enjoyed Dune too. We
to the left, Alexa. To the left.
There you go.
Let's go, baby.
It's more important for me that
watch us get a fucking copyright strike for that, dude.
I know, just for that laugh.
You're just too fucking real.
Let Nick talk.
But it's just more important for me to understand the mindset when I'm watching a movie, and this is a very easy mindset. So it's a 7.5 for sure.
All right. Well, what was the overall rating?
Overall rating? If we round up. 7.
Great.
Solid 7.
Okay, baby. Okay.
And I think that's fair for a movie like this.
That's money, baby.
And I think if you've never seen it, I think you'd enjoy it.
Honestly, I think. I mean, I watched it once, but watching it again, I was like, "Oh, this is not as bad as I remember."
Honestly, you watch this movie in a dark room, big TV, loud as shit. You're fucking scared.
Yeah, you're scared. Yeah.
This is one of those movies that it needs to be part of a cinematic experience. So it's like some fucking surround sound, all that shit.
I'm telling you, dude, it was.
Imagine watching this in Dolby now.
Wow.
Like with the seat. Like I remember watching Dune 2 recently, and with it vibrating on the. He was like,
"Oh, the vibrating."
I gotta cut it. I'm too much weight.
They didn't even show the death. Those motherfuckers.
You need to work on your bones, son.
I mean, help me out.
Whoa.
He said, let's get some practice in.
Yeah.
All right, so it's about that time. You know, we are 4 Guys, 1 Film, and you know where to find us on Instagram, Letterboxd, TikTok, everywhere. It's
all
just our name,
yeah.
4 Guys, 1 Film. You can also email us, let us know what you think.
I don't think we've gotten a single email.
Yeah, comment, like, and subscribe.
We've never gotten an email.
Hit us up on Letterboxd. Yeah, that's where all you peeps are.
Yeah,
so
it's all Letterboxd for real.
We'll find you guys. We'll listen. We'll engage with you guys wherever you guys want to engage with us. But again, thanks again.
First person to email us, you're getting a plaque.
You're getting a plaque. That's a George guarantee. Make sure you hold him to him.
George, you're doing
button.
that.
It's gonna be a little button.
No, you said plaque, so you're gonna fucking. George is funding a plaque.
All right, never mind. A button.
Like
pin.
Like we're gonna go to a CNC machine shop and you're gonna fucking print that out.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be like a fucking button or something.
All right, we'll see. We'll see if anybody actually does that.
We'll see what happens.
I'm curious.
But again,
4 Guys, 1 Film button.
Or you know what? We'll give you an engraved ring from Pandora.
Oh my god!
What the
right, that was
fuck.
not me.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Damn,
Oh,
George,
hell
why'd your voice sound a little different there? Yeah, that was interesting. But again, thanks you guys for listening. This has been 4 Guys.
One
One
cup.
film.
film. Oh my